so we're casting the finals, the grand finals of the Terra Mystica Madness League, which is for this set of seasons. It was played on Fjords. Um, so this is the Fjords map that we're looking at, and in this, every faction is allowed. I'm not sure if Kingdom of Ember is allowed, but all the fan factions and all the Fire and Ice factions are allowed. Looks like there's no extra scoring. Um, so those are the rules. I believe that the rules for this also include fast auctions, so we're not going to be able to see like the players tick down on everything. So we have lots of time to look at the track, and I think that it seems to me like someone is going to want to play Time Travelers here. Hey, Patrick of the Isles. Yeah, two Terra Mystica streams popping at the same time. Agreed. I don't mean to compete with Fruity, but Fruity is playing the game and he is streaming as well. So if you want to get like the player's commentary, you should see his. I decided to run mine anyway, simply because I think that there will be some appetite for discussing it. Yeah, like basically, I think that his stream will be really good to get insight into like what an actually good player is thinking during it, and like from his point of view. But I figure that probably some people might want to just talk about what they're seeing, and like in a player's chat, you don't necessarily want to discuss like the lines that you see for other players or like what you think that they might be up to, but so there's like a little bit of like iffiness there. Is it Hidden Cup factions or all factions? I believe it's all factions other than the Kingdom of Ember. We have Wisps into the first seat. Wisps with early TB events is always kind of fun. Wisps also often like to take scoring favors, so I think that like these later events are good for Wisps. I don't know as much about Firewalkers. I know that they like early points. So I could see them definitely like opening Temple. Like I think that Firewalkers almost always want to take Earthwand. So we're probably going to see like them build their Temple for Fire One, because Firewalkers like maybe I should explain like some of these factions do. So Wisps are a blue faction, and when they make a TP, the hex on which they make a TP, they get to use a spade on an adjacent hex. They do not get to use a spade and build, so they're often seen as a little fragile. However, like that ability to generate extra spades is extremely strong, and as a result, they often like to take scoring favors because they have that inbuilt economy. Their stronghold lets them fly once, like witches, immediately. Can be nice to delay your shipping if you want to get like 3 towns. Firewalkers are a cool faction. They're a fire faction, and they're probably my favorite fire faction. They spend victory points to dig, basically, and they have like their stronghold allows them to score points for passing. So one of the important things with Firewalkers is that you need to generate a lot of victory points early. Otherwise, you won't be able to spend them, and then you won't be able to build more stuff. So like an early scoring track where you're going to make some points is very important to Firewalkers. They also have an interesting fact where like they often don't want to pay victory points for power, which almost every faction wants to pay for leech, but Firewalkers actually, I think that they don't really want to do that because they have the ability to like move their marker up, like the victory point track marker. They can move it up, and they can generate power that way. So, like they can basically decrease the amount of digs that they can do for no cost in victory points, and as a result, they can generate power. And since victory points are a very important resource for firewalkers, they're like alchemists squared. You never want to really pay your victory points. So firewalkers, like one of their best ways to generate economy is to take Earth 1 early. And we do have time travelers in C4. I think that everyone's a little generous to give time travelers C4 because time travelers so their ability is that C3 is Chaos Magicians. I think that everyone probably knows that, but they only have one dwelling and they take 2 favors each time they build a temple or a sanctuary as opposed to 1 favor. Obviously, they're going to want to build their temple in round 1 and possibly delay their sanctuary until round 3 and take some scoring favors then. Time travelers have the ability where in round 1 they'll score the events for rounds 2 and 6, as opposed to like the scoring event here. So the reason why this is cool is that this track has big building events in rounds 3 and 5. This means that for each big building that time travelers build in round 4, they'll score 10 points. But it's doubly cool because we also have a sandwich dwelling event. So in round 5, each dwelling that time travelers build will be worth 4 points, which is really cool. Can I raise the volume? What I can do is I can turn off the air conditioning, which was running pretty hard. Hopefully I should be able to be heard better. Let me know, FireX, if you can hear me better now. There's a semi-respected no geologists and no changelings agreement. Okay, well, I mean, there's no colorless factions at all here. The only fire and ice faction that we see is the Firewalkers. You always run the AC hard in November. I mean, things have been weird. Things have been weird, and this apartment building is weird. I'll just leave it there. So what do we think about this? I think that everyone is allowed to run their clock down to, like, based on the tournament rules, everyone's allowed to run their clock down to -3. So we have lots of time to decide on what we think is the best faction here. Time Travelers start on the Spade, which I think is fun. They're going to score TPs in rounds 1, 2, 3, and 6. So no like urgent rush to make TPs or anything. They also score dwellings in round 1. So starting with a Spade is really nice for them. They'll probably open Temple, 1 dwelling, and I think that if I'm Time Travelers and I get handed a Spade, then I'm probably going to take it. By the way, what color is Firewalkers on? Firewalkers are on yellow. Okay, they got to choose at the end. So yellow is kind of interesting because yellow, like I know that after placing their dwellings it no longer matters, but it's very blocky toward Chaos and Time Travelers because they can just sit on 2 of like the best yellow hexes, which I imagine F4 is very likely one of those hexes that they're going to start on, and the other one is either H5 or E7. I have to imagine, and those are very strong hexes. F4 is kind of fun because it gets right in this leech party with Wisps and Chaos. Though I guess I'm not sure if Firewalkers want to be giving leech. Like giving leech to your opponents as Firewalkers doesn't seem great, because you don't really care about receiving leech. You want cheap leech. Time Travelers with this yellow neighbor is a little annoying. However, if you don't get Firewalkers on H5, which when I think about it, they probably don't want to be on H5. They might be in a fine spot. I just am addicted to this track, so yeah, you actively want to avoid getting 2-for-1s. You think Wisps look nice? I kind of think Wisps look nice as well. Firewalkers will really struggle to dig too much early, and well, Firewalkers are bid down a lot, and Wisps are the 40, so that's pretty interesting. Wisps are often seen as kind of a fragile faction, but I really like the deal that mellison got here, just like on instinct. Time Travelers are also a 40. Time Travelers are also a fairly fragile faction. However, I think that they have lots of fun opportunities here. Like, they can just build econ. They can play like a really, really tall game where they just build a second temple in round 3. They just build dwellings in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Then they build a second temple in round 4. They take Fire 1 and they try to like dominate this Fire Cult and get Fire Cult rewards. And then in round 4, they use all the econ that they've saved up to build both big buildings. They actually, you know what I said about building a TP or a big temple in round 3? Maybe you don't build that temple. You just save it till round 4 to take Earth 1 if you can, or Water 1 if you cannot, and that's fine. You just do everything you can to be able to build both big buildings in this round. And then after that, you just advance your ship and try to hit all your browns. Because I think that 2-ship brown, like, you can do a decent amount of damage if you get like a spade or two, right? Like G8 gets you these two, like G7 you can ship twice. As long as your browns stick around, I think you're okay. Who's giving Wisps trouble? I kind of agree with you. Like, assuming that Firewalkers are on F4, which I think that they should be, you can open with a TP and then you just get this hex for free, right? Like, Firewalkers are not digging F3. They're going to dig F5, but I did not expect this hex for brown, but I do like it quite a bit. This hex has the best digging potential for brown. Well, I mean, I guess this hex has better digging potential. This hex is a very good shipping hex for brown. This hex is a good digging hex, but this is also a great digging hex because you can get up into this business here. Your toughest part here is going to be neighbors, but that might not be your biggest concern. Yeah, exactly, Scoomy. Like if you like, often your concern for wisps, if you think that they're fragile, is if I turn my hex to blue, then my green neighbor or my black neighbor might steal it from me. But I do not consider that a big risk in this game. I do not think that F3 is under any threat if you begin the game by upgrading E4. So what's the game plan for Firewalkers then? You probably upgrade here, right? I think that you leave this hex like without upgrades because you want to get the free leech from here. I think that Chaos is probably on E5. That's my guess. I think that you upgrade away from Chaos. You don't want to feed them leech, and you don't want them to give you 2-for-1s that you don't want. So interesting. Chaos starts here. That's probably good news for time travelers. I think that time travelers, if Chaos is on E5, then their natural town is this bridge town through C4. And that's bad news for time travelers because time travelers would love C4 to get over here into the west. There's a lot of browns over here in the west if you get C4. So Chaos starting here implies that they want like either these 3 hexes or like C6 and this bridge town up here. So yeah. You think that the game plan for Firewalkers is Earth 1, Earth 2. What's good about Earth 2 for Firewalkers particularly? Like, when I look at these pass tiles and this track, Earth 2 doesn't seem to be, like, on my radar unless you're spamming TPs. Like, any priest to a cult is going to get you workers. And you don't really have that many issues putting out dwellings, so I don't really understand Earth 2. You could just go Earth 1, Water 1. Yeah, I think that might be slightly better. In fact, do you need to build this TP? Maybe you build 1 TP in round 2, and then you're ready to take Water 1, like, whenever the time comes. We should quickly address the stronghold, right? I mentioned that the Firewalkers have a scoring stronghold. The way that it works is that for each basically separate cluster, whether or not they're connected or not, you're going to get a victory point when you pass. So Firewalkers really want to advance their shipping early. Ooh, this is fun. Firewalkers are on the TP tile. I have to think that this means that Matt is thinking of making multiple TPs. But I think that this is actually quite awkward for him, right? Like you don't actually want to take extra leech, do you, as firewalkers? Like he might have to play it really slow. So yeah, he's got 4 victory points of margin right now. Like each TP will give you points, yes. However, that TP will then become incapable of taking the free leech that you want. So I'm not sure exactly what Matt's thinking here. You think fire factions like Earth 2 because of the dwelling gaps? Yeah, you might be right. Obviously, I don't like, or I don't know if it's obvious, but I don't play much of the Fire and Ice factions. I try to stay away from them, actually, so. I think the hexes that Matt wants are probably F6, F5, G4. Those seem like likely hexes that firewalkers would want. They take the workers early. So this definitely seems to imply double temple, in which case I do think that we're likely to see. Wait, sorry. Yeah, Matt took the workers, right? Oh, he simply took the TP because fire factions start with 1 fewer dwelling, or 1 fewer worker. They have no native worker production, so I guess that makes sense. You think they're going TP spam if they want TP tile? I mean, you could be right. The thing is, like, is it that appealing to TP spam in this game? Like, round 2 is TPs. Don't you typically just want to build dwellings before that? I think if I'm Matt, I'm probably going to transform F6 to Volcano, um, and not worry about upgrading yet, because an upgrade or even an upgrade in build means that you lose the 2-for-1s. It's really interesting the way that like your leech decisions are basically reversed. Yeah, it has to be the thought he passed up the big building. Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. It's just, let's see, if you can build 3 TPs, right? The goal is going to be 3 TPs. That'll be 9 points plus 6 more points. So 15 points. 15 points lets you dig 3 times, and he's already got 3 digs, or he's already got 1 dig. He transforms E8. That makes sense to me. F6 is not really threatened, but E8 could be threatened if Wisps wanted to cut up into D4. I think that this is also pretty nice because it's going to annoy, like, now you have control over time travelers as well, right? Like, time travelers really want a neighbor on D5 or on D4, but preferably D5, because they want to build their town around D5. And now it looks like firewalkers can put a single dwelling here and then take cheap leech when time travelers come around the bend like that. But yeah, I think that Matt's got the right idea in just like trying to slow play this as much as possible. Wisps have got 2 TPs up. They're on the big building tile. That's really nice. Time travelers. Wow, time travelers start on temp ship. So they passed up the spade. They must think that they can get the spade back. I have to imagine that taking this priest is in time travelers' plans, because they're going to advance their shipping, right, so that they can take advantage and get to G7 and C4, especially C4. Yeah, I totally missed that this happened. And yeah, Chaos got the spade, which I guess they otherwise would have taken the big building tile probably, and just opened with the sanctuary. Like C6 is pretty safe. Like it doesn't hit the track, but the big building for Chaos Magicians is just so good to get that extra econ, lock up Earth 1. They can get to B6. Yeah, they can get to B6, but I can't imagine that B6 is their goal, right? Their goal is C4, and G7 is probably a hex that might disappear later. B6, like, you're always getting B6 later. All you need to get is like C8, and then you get this bridge down. Time travelers take this. They take air too. I don't know what to think about anything now. I think they're just 2 shipping. Oh, are you saying that you think that they're going to dig C8 and then get to B6? You think that that's what's happening? Uh, I I guess they could, but why wouldn't they just take the spade and then bridge to B6 if they really want to get to B6, right? They could have just started on the spade, taken this, and then gone there. Like, the only reason to be shipping is with two ship. Um, they probably just evaluated the situation and said, no one's taking this priest from me, but I also don't really see much of a reason to upgrade early. Upgrading later also puts some pressure on firewalkers because firewalkers don't like want to upgrade after everyone else, right? So Matt needs to make a decision. I think that building E8 is the play. Yep, he does do it. And then we've got a water 2 taken. That's fun. Is water 2 actually good? I'm not convinced. But mellison is good, so I trust that. Is he going to double temple? I think that he probably just saves the temple for next round. Where would I put this spade? I think that G3 you can get with a TP. I think that G9 you can get with a TP. So I think that the spade might just go on G8. That's my prediction. So let's evaluate this water 2. It gets him a spade, which I'm not convinced that he needs, which lets him build a dwelling next round. He also needs it. I guess now he can take the coins. Because he has so many spades that the coins become pretty attractive. Fruity has gotten himself double dig, but again, I'm just not that convinced that it's that. I guess he could. The double dig hex that's kind of interesting is, to me, is E5. Because then you can get to C4. Again, I think that C4 is kind of the key hex here for time travelers. And like, given that they've done what they've done, I have to think that the goal is to get to C4. I mean, I just don't understand this Air 2 at all either. You're saying could it be double dig E5? Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, excuse me. But I really don't like the Air 2. Like, to me, just taking Fire 1, it's like a very good fight. Like, I mean, Air 2 and Fire Cult are both good cults this game, right? But you would think that would be Fire 1 if they're going to manual ship here. Yeah, because really what I feel like what time travelers should want is Priest and coins, right? Priest lets you advance your shipping, coins lets you just get far. They clearly want the spade help, but like I just don't understand anything about Fruity's game. And like maybe he's okay, so he does take E5, which is fine, I guess. Like it's kind of confusing. It's good for firewalkers and for it really hurts chaos, I guess. Like E5 is kind of the gateway to the west for chaos. Now chaos, I mean, they can still get D1. I don't think firewalkers are coming after this hex. They're probably going to dig through the south at this point. And yeah, it would require a lot of shipping for firewalkers to get to D1, which they have not a ton of incentive to do. And I mean, this does get them a spade more quickly, I guess. So they'll transform C8 next round and then build into here. I don't know. My game plan of saving and building up tons of resources for round 5 or round 4 big building spam did not involve spending 2 spades on 1 hex. So, Eric, you're not a fan of this dig. You've tried it before and it felt so bad. It is funny that you've actually tried that specific dig before. But yeah, I agree. This dig doesn't seem great to me. Okay, so Matt was forced to make a TP here, which means that he's not going to get the leech from F8, but he will get the leech from C5. And he's also not going to get the leech when this thing is upgraded, of course. Yeah, it's kind of awkward for Firewalkers. I don't love it, this whole situation that they're in. However, they're in, actually, is this a round 1 town for Firewalkers? I'm looking at it now, and is this a round 1 town? Like, he's gonna E7, right? Then he's gonna F6. He's 1 worker short. He's 1 worker short of a round 1 town. But if he gets the leech and he does 3 power to a worker, I mean, I don't really see that much reason to do that. Yeah, he would be several points short as well, actually, now that I look at it. It's air 2, earth 2 for chaos. That seems fine, given that they don't seem to want to build their big building next round. At this point, you might as well wait. Unless you, yeah, wisps are outlasting you, so. I wonder if chaos, like, takes a bridge here. I don't think it's particularly good or bad to take a bridge here, but we'll see. Okay, so freeze on these hexes. He is going to pass probably first. I'm not sure that chaos has that much incentive to do otherwise. Firewalkers finally give everyone else leech. They managed to get their share of free leech from it, so. Snake, you're saying that this is very much a base game? I don't know what you mean by that. Feels pretty madness friendly right now. Wisp's got the priest action. That's quite nice for them. It looks like, you know, with Water 2, you definitely want to be dominating a culty game. The stream title is still not acid but base. Oh, okay. I just clicked update. I changed it beforehand, but if you guys refresh, see if it still looks the same. So who paid points here? Chaos paid points. They started at around like 27. Firewalkers started around 27. They've paid for 1 dig. They've built 2 TPs. And I suspect that they're probably going to take this F6 hex next and then put a TP up here as well. There's the Goat Firewalkers opening. It's pretty entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. What do Firewalkers get if they get a spade? They get to, okay, it's essentially a hex. Nice. Without having to pay victory points, or like allowing them to pay more victory points. Right, this thing here says you still need to pay victory points. It just means that you can pay more. Yeah. Just like as a point of clarity, technically, the way that this thing works is these 23 points are deducted from this 29, or like basically this 23 is the minimum that you're allowed to drop your VP to. This is why taking leech is bad as Firewalkers, because this number doesn't go down when you pay points for power. So Matt can't dig twice because that would drop his victory points down to 21, and he can't drop below 23. This spade lets you drop that number down, so that way he can pay all the way down to like, he can pay all the way down to 19 if he wants. Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of you guys. Like, it's very fun having a TP opening. Like, there's just, like, a TP opening is just extremely cool. There's no doubt about it. However, it is, like, less good, strictly speaking, when the next round is a TP round as well. I think this will become a GOAT opening if Matt takes air 1 next round. But like, in reality, he's probably taking Earth 1, right? Matt really wants to stall to get onto the big building tile. That makes a lot of sense to me. Wisps, I don't know if they would prefer the TP tile. I don't think that they have the workers to really be going for a TP tile here. Wisps, I think, should... It's not clear to me if Firewalkers here should be... Wait, whoa. What just happened? Matt gained 1 power via structures? Oh, because... Is that because he burned down his power? Or, like, because he was so close to here? And also, what causes this number to go up again? I forget. Like, why did this number increase? If he gets on the big building tile, then take both, as in both Earth 1 and Air 1. I think you're right. Yeah, I think Earth 1 and Air 1 would be cool. And then that's, I guess it's not that sad for Time Travelers. If he gets D6, then he'll also get E9. So he'll have 2 hexes. He'll have C7 and E9. Time Travelers, so the thing about taking Air 2 is that it puts you in danger of overproducing power and or not being able to accept leech really quickly. He burned himself down to 6 power, so like, I would think that Time Travelers might want to take the coins, or they might want to take like a dig next round. However, if they do that, they'll burn themselves down to 5 power, and that's pretty much a bummer. What they can do is they can put the priest onto either probably the air track, I guess, to get that spade. They'll put the priest to air, and then what? I don't know what he does after that, honestly. Please let me know if I'm missing something that Time Travelers should do after putting priest to air. Okay, so Matt takes the coins. Firewalkers can build one more action. Okay, so what is moving this? Is he moving this himself? I guess he's moving this himself. So the other thing that I mentioned about Firewalkers is that they have the ability to move this token up in order to gain power. It's very strange, but it's also independent of other players' actions, which is kind of sneaky. So mellison has to pass. Matt is going to get onto the TP tile. Mellison is deciding between taking these coins and these victory points, or the spade. The spade is typically like, I would almost always take the spade. However, this is an exceptional case, right? Because wisps uniquely do not need spades as much. And in fact, it's not clear where his spade would go when I'm looking at it. Like, he can go on F8. He can put a spade here. G3 is he's going to be able to take with a TP, and G9 he's going to be able to take with a TP. So I don't know what the spade gets him, in which case this might actually be better, just straight up. Like, save the spade for later. Early worker town would be pretty sick. He can dig G4 green. Why is that good, though? Why is digging G4 green good? I'm sure there's a reason, but anyway, Matt has now put himself in position to take 2 digs. He clearly wanted the big building tile. Like, this is his source of workers, which is great. It does look like he's not going to be able to build that big building, so he'll just have to take... It's probably going to be Earth 1, I have to think, this early in the game. He also can't get a priest onto the air track, so that doesn't really help that much either. Yeah, Matt is passing VP. That's part of what, I mean, that's what makes this cool, right? But the question is, how cool was it really? G5, we got Firewalker blasted. Yeah, exactly. Like, which is why, like, I am not fully convinced. Matt really wants F5 and G5, I think. or actually he wants g4 ideally. It's just safer that way, but f5, g5, and h5 are sufficient hexes for a town here. Matt really likes the 2-key town. Now the 2-key town, yeah, it's very good because of these worker rewards, right? So I would not be super shocked to see him go like Temple Earth 1, then buy the workers. I think that he's almost certainly got to buy the workers, right? Do Firewalkers get anything from the spade? Yes, they get to move this token back, which allows them to either pay more points, or they could use that to gain 4 power, which is, I mean, admittedly 4 power is not that impressive, but still, they can't get Leech quite the same way as we do, as all the other factions do, as we discussed. So. So we got double econ. No one has taken. Not only has no one taken a scoring favor, also no one has even taken Fire 1, which I was really thinking that Fire 1 would be pretty likely here. Chaos is fairly close to being able to get a double dig, but Weber with a question, which is a pretty valid question. But basically, yes, if you cannot afford to pay the victory points as Firewalkers, you cannot dig. It's a pretty good question, / point of clarification. Anyway, yes, it is Earth 1. Fire 1 with all the coin cards. I think Fire 1, like for time, so here's my logic for time travelers, right? Like this is going to be a big source. Like to me, this is a big source of your victory, your workers. And also you want to advance your ship twice for round 4, or for round 5 if you can't get onto like the temp ship tile. And you're going to be blowing 10 of your, or like 16 coins in this round, and you still want to advance ship twice and be able to build all your dwellings in this round. So that's my logic for time travelers. I agree that it doesn't necessarily apply for everyone else though. I mean, here's another awkward part for time travelers, right? Like, they can get 2 spades off this cult, but they don't need 2 spades. I guess the priest already disappeared. Who took the priest? I guess Chaos did. They want to get to 2 ship. That makes sense. They want to get onto b5, a9. Ooh. I think time travelers probably got a single spade this, which is pretty crappy, but they might be double spading, which is really sad for Chaos. Like, time travelers could really F over Chaos right now. They've already taken this red, but I think that they also kind of want this red, and they definitely want this yellow. So, like, something needs to happen here, and this TP, like, I just wonder what this TP is. It is 3 points, and it's some coin income, but couldn't they have, I don't know. I don't know what this TP is. I'm probably being too critical too fast right now. I just don't understand it, personally. Okay, Firewalkers take a green hex. I guess now it's like if Wisps wanted to come around the bend and they had all this stuff to do it, then they could, and they could kill this Firewalker's town. Obviously, it's not what happened, but that is like something that could happen here, or could have happened if it had been allowed. Matt has put his power in like a very pretty position, so that he can take free leech despite having these big clusters. Who took the workers? I guess mellison took the workers. Mellison also isn't taking a scoring favor, which is sad. He's also not building an extra TP this round, which is also sad. This got him some leech, which was good, but now he's headed into the rounds with only water 2, and not a ton of other help. You've got to think that Firewalkers are looking at blasting this G4 hex. Like that's my guess. They might also just want to pass and take the TP tile, but again, like G4, there could just be weird pressure on it. I guess they're never getting beat to G5, so they don't need to worry too much. But I think that they would love to pass onto this TP tile if they could. You would have been tempted to just chump as wisps. I think I agree. Like they only built 2 TPs during these 3 TP rounds. They'll probably build another, but then like the spade hasn't this spade doesn't accelerate their economy at all. The way that I see it, it's cool. It's cool that they did this, but it doesn't really accelerate their econ. It doesn't help them snowball. Again, like I'm not sure if mellison is like playing like a meme game or if he thinks that this is the best line. He's obviously like a very strong player who knows what he's doing, but I have to admit, like this is befuddling me a little bit. Because if Firewalkers built D5, this puts them. So I'm thinking about what this does for them, right? Next round they can stronghold. I assume that they're going to stronghold next round. The stronghold will score them an instant 5 points, and they'll probably take like the shipping town or something. Then they can secure G5, and then they can get ready to make points via passing, like a lot. You guys are having a discussion over whether it's better to be looking for like whether wisps are better or worse at, like compared to other factions, how much they should value Earth 1. I think wisps are, like when I started playing wisps, I was thinking that Earth 2 would be good for them because you want to build a lot of early TPs. But what I found is that your early TPs, like even if you have Earth 2, I don't find that they're like that good to like leave up your early TPs. I actually think that like building some temples for Fire 1 and then getting scoring favors seems to be a little better, just from what I've seen. And yeah, this is pretty sad for Chaos. Like their best escape routes have been cut off. This is going to be really ugly for Chaos Magicians. I definitely think there's a case for Chaos to just like double dig D2. They took a priest and they took like some, I think it was like increased, they took priest and coins, but I think that it was possible they should have read that this like ultra aggressive Air 2 time travelers was going to be bad news for them. Yeah, time travelers have now spent 12 power from both 3 on digs as opposed to workers and coins, which is what I think that they should have been doing. So we're going to see how that plays out for them. It could work out okay because, and I'm not sure if that's because it's a great line or if it's because, in my eyes, like some rather silly stuff has been happening over here. mellison bumped air, which seems to imply that he wants to place this air spade, but I do not really see why that would be good. I think that, you know what he's going to do? He's going to take the 2-key town. He's going to send the first priest to water. That'll put his power in good position. And then he can build G8 and H8. That's my prediction for what mellison wants to do. Then he will get the spade off the cult. Again, I don't know why that would be good to get that spade off the cult, but he bumped air for a reason. And I don't think that reason, like, CM and Time Travelers seem rough. Yeah, I mean, Time Travelers has really put the hurt on CM, right? Um, they prevented them from opening Sanctuary, and then they dug C8, which is a good hex for CM. Like, they have, I guess they no longer have the spade in hand, so C8 wasn't immediately threatened. But this B5 dig is, and this E5 is really rough. Really, really rough for Chaos. Fruity can't do anything else, needs to pass, probably takes the spade, I guess. I don't love the spade, but it's probably what he's got to do at this point. And, oh, actually, the spade on D6, he can cut through D6 afterward, right? And then grab these two hexes. But, like, this, why do they even want B5? You're talking about Time Travelers? Time Travelers don't want B5. They theoretically can make a town through here, but they just decided to take two spades instead of one because two spades are better than one. That's honestly what I think happened there. Two spades are better than one. Like, is it actually true that two spades are better than one? That's TBD, but that is definitely the rationale for hitting this hex. And that, and like a very, very outside chance of making this bridge town, which, I mean, it's not that outside, but it's just not an efficient town. Very arguably, they should have just placed on H4. I kind of like this hex more when I thought that it meant shipping. Or I definitely like this hex more when I thought that it meant like two shipping, as opposed to this one ship, and he has no ship advances now. Yeah, so you're saying that nomads are one of the best like chump factions, aka like taking Earth 1. I don't. Yeah, I mean nomads are very good with Earth 1, right? They just have like a lot of economy, but I find myself very often not taking Earth 1 round 1 with nomads specifically. Like for some reason I just like rarely do it myself, but all right, Matt is about to make a decision here, and I'm curious what he's going to do. I think he can either Stronghold or Sanctuary, and at first I thought that it was clearly the Stronghold, but now I think that it might be the Sanctuary. He can Sanctuary for Water 1, first action, and then I assume that no one buys workers. Like, it seems insane for anyone to like try to buy workers first. When like he's gonna offer coins. So I think what'll happen is he's gonna Sanctuary Water 1, and then he's going to make a TP, and then or take the workers, then make a town over here, and then he's going to like come around and then make this other town later, like advance ship, do other stuff. I think that he wants the Sanctuary more. And is it Water 1 or Air 1? It might be Air 1. He's going to make probably 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more TPs. The thing is, he might still Temple later, and Air 1 is likely to be gettable later, whereas Water 1 is likely not. So, okay, so mellison is doing this. So this forces Matt into a decision. Oh, Matt doesn't have that option, right? He has to Sanctuary here. What other factions are good at taking Earth 1 in round 1? I mean, Cultists can do very well with Earth 1 in round 1 simply because like they can do well with anything, right? Like it seems like kind of a silly thing to say, but yeah, Cultists can basically perform well with anything. Matt takes the workers first. Wow, that's pretty interesting. He burned himself down. I guess like you don't really have to be precious about your power tokens. Like I feel like 5 is a lot better than 4, but For Firewalkers, you're rarely at the risk of accidentally taking leech that you don't want to, or finding yourself in a position where like you're taking leech that you otherwise wouldn't have. So they're always going to win the race to G5 as well. So I think that that's all probably fine. He can just like use 4 victory points to turn this guy black to fire the moment that he makes this sanctuary and mellison comes here. Because wisps are not able to quickly get to G4, he has the tempo to do this. I think that I agree that alchemists are very good at taking Earth 1. Archivists are good at taking Earth 1. Engineers, like, they can probably succeed with just Earth 1 and no Earth 2, but honestly, they're so much better with Earth 2 that, yeah, because, like, Earth 2 is better for tall strategies and for, like, big econ strategies, right? But really, you really want both. Eric, if you were Chaos, you would be tilted here. Yeah, I would be tilted. Like, I would definitely be tilted as well. I think Chaos, like, their best bet at this point is probably to blast D2. Don't worry about trying to, like, make this bridge down. Just blast D2, because you need to get over here to, like, have any hexes left. But it does feel like Free has kind of made himself third and Chaos fourth. That's kind of what it feels like. That said, like, again, mellison, I don't know. Like, he's got no scoring favors. Maybe you don't need scoring favors, but in my experience, scoring favors are pretty good. Even like an air one, right? Like an air one would be really nice for wisps right now. Yeah, I mean, I see the G4 appeal now, for sure. I definitely see the G4 appeal. Oh, whoa. Matt took fire too. In a workers' town. Okay, so that means that the plan is take G5, make a TP, and then take a ship town? I did not see that coming. Yeah, this has to be like a ship town play, right? And then maybe like an early pass for the temp ship, and maybe your town goes through like here. It's pretty expensive digging wise, but I feel like that's the best place to gain some adjacency. The other places, maybe you just come up here and try to get these 4 hexes. Like I do feel like time travelers might take away A6, so it's not that good, but like these 4 hexes might be good for a town. Otherwise, yeah, it does feel like it might be these 4 in a row with 1 expensive dig. I'm just looking anywhere that I can, like, for Firewalkers. Because Fire 2, like, almost certainly commits you to playing a 3-town game, the way that I see it. Nelson should probably just build G4, right? I don't know what he's too concerned about right now. Maybe he just wants Earth 1. Maybe he heard me, like, complaining about the lack of scoring favors, and now he wants Earth 1. This looks like a play for third as Firewalkers. If you're going 2 towns and you just go water 1. I mean, yeah, I mean Matt seems to be playing for 3 towns. I mean, so here's the upside of what he did, right? He can still take water 1 here, and also he has fire 2, which is useful for economy. So he's gotten himself a lot of economy this way, and he can still temple for water 1 or air 1. Now that said, you don't really want to temple because, right? You don't really want to temple because you're on the TP pass tile. Free says he wanted to secure connection. I mean, is connection worth securing here? I would not be thinking about connecting as time travelers in this color arrangement. On this map with these colors, I would not have really been thinking too hard about connection slash economy. I would be thinking about like I'm gonna score the bejesus out of this round and this round. Now, if you connect and you get like 6 network points, that's fine. But like building all these TPs, I don't know. He does seem to have enough stuff to build the big building next round, especially if he gets onto the 7 coins pass tile. It doesn't look like anyone else is passing too fast. Like Mellison has 2 cult steps that he needs to use. He has a bunch of hexes that he can still build on. Oh, Mellison finally took Earth 1, it looks like. Yeah, it's Earth 1. I mean, I guess I agree that time travelers did need like an economy favor, but I'm just not sure that like this connection is that important. Also, like there's just no way that C5 should disappear, right? Or like A6. If you really wanted to connect, like there's no way that those should disappear. Okay, yeah, you basically agree with me, right? Like it's you don't need endgame scoring. You need these like the 20 points here, and like say you build 5 dwellings here, that's like 20 points there. That's like 40 points here. So 40 track points, yeah, would probably be stronger than like 9 network. Like I just feel like you're not going to do that well on network, but maybe this stuff gets cut through, right? Like that could happen. Anyway, Mellison took Earth 1, but is it really better than Air 1? I guess it is better than Air 1 because 1, it denies time travelers, and time travelers are going to be taking a scoring favor next round. And 2, he does want to build lots of dwellings in rounds 4 and 6, so I guess it's fine. His economy is pretty balanced. Yeah, Air 1 would only be 6 points through the next 2 rounds. Earth 1 is likely to be at least 8 points through the next 2 rounds, so yeah. And yeah, you do block time travelers, which is nice. Time travelers have 2 actions left. Chaos still hasn't taken D2, which personally I don't feel like is great. I think that Firewalkers would love D2. At least I would. Firewalkers are going to secure D2 this round, though. Yeah, so I think that if I were Chaos, I definitely would have gone for this hex. But it looks like they're going to try to get to ship 3 and then hit D6, H7, H6 as their expansion route. They're just going to say F it to like the 3 digs just to get over to these couple of red hexes in the west. I also have to wonder like how much incentive does Matt have to actually block Chaos? Because Chaos has a ton of coins. Whoa, they don't have Fire 1. That's fine. There's a lot of coins past tiles, maybe. They will get down here. And then what do? Do they like advance their digs and try to carve through? I do like the water 1 grab though. Do you prioritize digging immediately? I think not. I think that you can still get D6, H7, and H6, right? My Fire 1 predictions is in shambles. I mean, I was just saying that it's kind of notable that no one had taken it. I'm not saying that, like, they have to. Matt does not secure D2, which is kind of interesting to me. He doesn't take temp ship. He just takes more scoring, which is the proper way to build your economy as this faction. To be fair. He says sorry. I don't know if he took a long think or something. I guess he took a kind of long think, but it's not clear what anyone should be doing here. You thought that they were going to double through D6. No, they weren't doubling through D6. Yeah. They did bridge because they have 1 spade, right? So they're going to build this. The 7 coins remain, so Fruity is still in a good position. The other thing is that Matt can't take the coins. Oh, he can take the coins, right? He can gain a power at any time, so he can take coins. Okay, so Fruity's not getting the coins, but he's going to open with the stronghold, and he's going to be able to take a town with that. So he is going to get those 20 points. And as a bonus, he might be able to get this as well. So maybe the hit is overblown. He might even get a second town like late, but we'll see. It's probably, to me, it's probably a coin town here, as time travelers. Like, I don't love coin towns. I don't know if that's clear to people. I don't love coin towns personally. However, I do think that Matt or Fruity would be pretty well served with a coin town here. It would help fund his sanctuary, and he really needs to fund ship advances as well. He doesn't need to put these priests to cults anymore. There's no need to put any more priests to cults, so he can use his priests to advance shipping. He wants to get to 3 ship, right? To do 1, 2, 3, 4. If he can get onto 10 ship, that would be pretty sick, but maybe no one will be fighting for 10 ship by that point. That'll be my hope, personally, for time travelers. In that case, maybe you could even take the 11-point town. It looks like Firewalkers are going to miss out on Water 1, but they're probably fine with that. They're likely just going to take Air 1 next round. My guess, so what would I do if I were Firewalkers here? They're going to take G6 for sure. Take a shipping town, and then advance ship manually, come down to I6, and then make a TP for Air 1. That would probably be most likely what my play is. What's Mellison up to? Mellison's going to build his stronghold and get onto G6, but he has no way to connect, does he? He's going to build G4, then he's going to stronghold. Oh, he's going to connect through the south, right? He's going to get onto I5, and then he's going to stronghold himself on I5, and then no one should really interfere with cutting through here. It's going to involve some expensive TPs, but maybe Chaos should get here this round as well, so. To be clear, I'm predicting that he's going to build a stronghold out of turn because he's on the big building tile. And I think that he really does want to get to I5 quite a bit. It's not great for his economy, but he can take a coin town. That's probably what's happening, I think. Strongholds, or secure G4, then stronghold I5. Then maybe make a TP and then like hard dig or something. I don't know. Who knows? Matt does not take the coins. Wild. That's wild. He could have taken the coins, right? I feel like he should have taken the coins. Does that mean that CM is getting the coins? Or sorry, does that mean Time Travelers is getting coins? If he does, then suddenly I really like Fruity's position. Like, I was thinking that Fruity was in trouble, but if he gets this coins action, then he's like, then I know nothing apparently. Wow, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I cannot believe that. Okay, so I think suddenly, like, for all my criticisms, I think that Time Travelers might be in, like, the best seat. Maybe it's still Wisps. Like, Wisps have a lot of points. They have another town coming. Or they probably have 3 towns coming, right? I don't know, if I were free right now, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself right now. Okay, Firewalkers wanted workers, which is why they declined the coins, but I and they're going to advance shipping, I guess. They took a priest town instead of a coin town. Or instead of a ship town, rather. So my guess is they're targeting D2, followed by D1. Clearly, Chaos has declined those options. So Chaos taking the priest definitely means that they're coming around the bend here. So they're going to build 3 dwellings during this dwelling round. And I would think that they would probably just hard dig H5 as well. That's my suspicion. We'll see how that plays out. Mellison uses a water 2 bump. He's probably... I was talking about Mellison taking... or maybe he put a priest to a cult. I think he put a priest to a cult, yeah. I was previously thinking that he would take a coin town, but I actually now think that he might just take an 8-pointer. Like, his game plan is very, very focused on cults, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him just take the 8-pointer. And I was talking about Fruity taking a coin town. I think that now he could take like an 8-pointer or something as well. Maybe the 8-pointer isn't the best because he's got so much power income. That might put him at an awkward power spot. And it's not clear he's going to get any... Well, he is going to get more leech, right? But he hasn't used his stronghold ability yet, so... So he just takes the shipping town, which obviously makes sense. He wants a lot of shipping. He's going to bump his power next. I don't know, this looks very, very good for time travelers. He's going to be at 81 points once he does this. He's going to advance his shipping to get to, I mean, that'll be next round, to get to 84. And then it's going to be like go time. Would you guys take water 1 or air 1 here? If you're time travelers. Wonder if he's wondering the same thing. If D2 goes, yeah, excuse me, I agree. I'm pretty sure that it's supposed to be just connect through the south here. I'm fairly certain that it's a connect through the south situation for Wisps. Air 1's cooler. Air 1 is cooler, but I'm not sure if it's better. Like, taking away water 1, actually no one really cares about water 1 that much, right? Like, everyone's, like, both these guys have a lot of TPs built already, and Chaos Magicians have no TPs, but they've already secured water 1. And there's no way that you're really getting both of those favors, right? Air 1 is probably worth, like, 8 points. Water 1 might be worth 6. That's my prediction. I don't think time travelers should bother building up that much more. But water 1 might be a little better for your cult position, whichever you feel like is better for your cult position, right? Wisps can blast through the south, but you don't have to hit the coins. It won't have to be expensive. I'm pretty sure that Chaos is going to be on H6 at the end of this round. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Chaos is going to get onto H6. And yeah, they do just take the 8-pointer, which is what I was thinking that Mellison might want. They're about to get some very friendly leech. Did they mess up their power conversions? They might have 1, 2, 3. They're going to leave themselves open to taking a 2-for-1, which should be offered very shortly. It's a lot of expensive TPs. Do they need more cult steps? I think that simply denying someone else an 8-point town is very powerful. For example, if time travelers got like an 8-point town and then they're suddenly in air 3 range, right? And like air 3 is not that clearly like, it's not clearly much worse than air 1 or water 1 for time travelers right now, especially if they like make another temple for water 1. So I think I get it. What's so good about the 8-pointer? Yeah, I think part of it is just the power of denial. When it's part of your game plan, like just making sure no one else gets another 8-pointer is pretty good. It's also just a lot of points. And there it is. Wonder what this favor is. Okay, it is air 1. I have to think that Matt's also thinking about taking air 1 this round. Matt is at 1 ship, which, okay, so he's on D2 like we expected. What do we like here, guys? What do you guys think is winning? Fruity did the thing that I wanted him to do. And he looks like he's in good position to pass and get a coins action next round. Like, I don't think that this TP tile does anything for him, but the coins action next round does. And I think he's got brilliant economy. Fruity has a lot of points, but his endgame is sus. Yeah, it is. Is mellison still have a cult step left? He doesn't have a cult step left, so Fruity could be like a real pest on the air cult here. Right, he has a step in hand. You go priest to air and then close the air cult. I think whoa. That's a good move. That's definitely a good move. It wastes a spade from Chaos, because Chaos is building this hex. But I think that Chaos might have slow played that, right? No, they built a dwelling. Okay, they did build this dwelling just now, but mellison had to like wait for that. You're still in on mellison. Yeah, I mean like he has the best endgame scoring by a mile, right? Like dominating with cults like this is just a very good way to score. Okay, so Fruity is going to close air. That's pretty good, right? What's so bad about Matt's game? Matt's game isn't bad. No one said Matt's game is bad. It's just he's built. I think that it's the fact that he built both his towns. It's not clear that he's going to get a third town. I guess like he's almost certainly going to get a third town, right? He's going to use these 4 hexes for a town. Especially now it's like he took the hex that Fruity would most want here. So it seems pretty clear that he's going to get a town here. Yeah, I mean Matt's game is good, but doesn't mellison just have a lot more points than he does? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. They each only have 1 scoring favor. They each only have Earth 1. Firelockers should make lots of points from dwellings in round 6. They can build up the next round. They don't have to blow all their dwellings early. Wisps might be out of stuff to build by that point. I'm not sure. Meanwhile, CM, I think that it's probably time for CM to make this town. Fruity is... Did I miss something? Why did Fruity not close this cult? Mellison's considering passing. Just builds. I like that. Just never pass when you don't have to. Just always build. It'll be fine. Fruity probably closes the cult here and then calls it. So mellison will pass first, I think. Like, I feel like it has to be wrong for Fruity to go after this TP tile. Like, that can't be right. Like, the priest to air is much better than this TP tile. He advances his shipping. Man, that is like the last move that I would have done. I really think that you can advance ship next round. And or like I don't think that this temp ship is contested at all next round. Maybe Firewalkers want it, but I'm pretty sure Firewalkers now have a plan over here. So I definitely disagree with that. The spade and the coins are fine, no need for the TP tile. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Mellison wants to pass first onto the TP tile, and it looks like he's going to be able to do so. I'm fairly certain he's going to be able to do so. Fruity does not want this leech, or it's one leech, right? He declined it, but he could have taken it. It's fine. Now Mellison passing just folds air. I agree. But I think Mellison might just want the coins, right? Like, I don't think Mellison cares as much about air as Fruity does. I think that Fruity's line there was close air and then pass onto this temp ship tile. He doesn't need the coins as badly because he has the stronghold ability. And then the temp ship, like, he doesn't need 3 shipping this game, right? Maybe he advances ship at the end of the game if he's out of stuff to do. But really, he should just be, like, doing everything he can to maximize this dwelling round. He does need 3 ship. I mean, does he, though? How many points is he scoring off of network? He's going to have, like, at least 4 structures on his board at the end of the game, right? There's no way that he's getting more than 6 points in network. I guess, like, because he killed the Chaos Magicians, he has some incentive. Ooh, that's a tough pass, but Mellison is probably pretty happy with this big coins tile. So I don't think that he's that sad about getting all those coins. Okay, well, I guess this part worked out well for Free, but he was always getting the Mellison's big building tile, right? Oh, Mellison needs 3 ship. Free could expect Wisps to take. Well, I mean, Chaos had every reason to pass there, right? They have no more hexes, thanks to what Free did. I mean, he got onto the big building tile, so it's probably a moot point anyway. But so I think we're probably going to see Matt take B4 and then make a temple for Air 1. Oh, he takes D1. Okay. He really wants to get his like, I don't think this hex was under any contention, but it's obviously a good hex for Firewalkers. And does this last dwelling produce? It doesn't, right? I don't think the last dwelling produces, does it? So what's going to happen here? Chaos is going to take the coins, and then he's going to try to get the bridge afterward. Okay, so I see what Matt's doing. He's decided, like, this next round is just the stronghold round. So he wants to score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7, right? 7 or 8 points per round off the stronghold. He can always just make the town in round 6, because this green hex and this gray hex, this yellow hex, this green hex, no one's taking those away, unless something like truly wild happens. This chaos game looks like it's leading to dig advances, but my big issue with it is that he only has 1 priest production, and buying a priest feels so bad here. You don't think Free was ever taking any bonus other than the big building? I agree. I just think that he was supposed to close the cult, and I really don't think that temp ship was that bad. But obviously these 8 points are super valuable as well. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes open to him. That's 8 coins. He needs a ship advance. That's 12 coins, and he needs a TP. That's 15 coins. Yeah. So he's got 5 coins here plus the 6 coins, so that's 11 plus 4 from his stronghold ability. Yeah, he's got enough. He's got just enough to build everything, which is great. So that's 16 points plus 3. That's 19, 23 point round for him. Plus he's passing for 8, so that's 31 points for him next round. He's going to end this next round at 117, which is pretty huge. What was that about a priest town, you're saying? Excuse me? Oh, Matt is going for 4 towns. Okay, that's fun. He's staking his claim, right? Like, this is a staked claim right here. Oh, CM's priest needs. But then CM would need a bridge. I feel like if CM is going for dig advances, like, this is pretty vulnerable to disruption. I guess Matt's never disrupting this town, right? But, like, he would need a bridge. Does he have enough power to both advance or take coins and bridge? Matt taking Fire 2 showed he always wanted 4 towns. I mean, he definitely wanted 3. The Stronghold prefers fewer towns, but if it's only like 1 bridge that you're costing, then it's probably fine. Also, like, for most factions, you just want to ship and hit your natural hexes, but since Firewalkers have no natural hexes, this totally makes sense. I predict that the Stronghold town goes here, right? He only has 1 neighbor here, so he can just dig this hex and this hex, E2 and F1 for a cheap town. Oh, this Stronghold is passing for 5. Yeah, that's quite good. And he also needs... He can't build the Stronghold. He can't make the town this round, which is... Unless he builds the Stronghold town up here. He doesn't have enough workers. I guess he could do priest to worker. I don't know. There's water 1, probably. Like, this early, that has to be water 1, right? Yeah. Matt realizes that he still has a ton of TPs left to build. 12 TPs left to build. Oh, and he already had Air 1. I probably missed that. I just haven't been paying that close attention to what Firewalkers have been up to, but that definitely seems quite good. So how do we feel about Fruity being at 117 at the end of this round? I feel like that's pretty good, right? And there's another copy of Water 1's hanging out there. Like, he could temple Water 1 and just, like, build TPs in the final round or something. He's obviously not making another town, but lots of chances to get on hexes right now. Seems pretty nice. This E3 is also kind of filthy because it cuts off like 2 natural grays. It costs, like, time travelers could double dig C3 and get down here for more hexes, but, like, I don't think that that's realistically what they want to do anymore this game. If I'm mellison, I'm just making a TP on I3, I think. Chaos, okay, Chaos does have the power to bridge. So they can bridge, TP, and then what, they take a priest town and then advance their digs? It does look like if they do that, then they're out of coins. Which I don't think is where they want to be. Like, when I was saying that Chaos should advance their digs, I was thinking that they'd just make towns, like, where their structures already are. Like, 1 town here and 1 town here. It's very expensive digging, though, so... Matt's going to cost himself 12 more points from digging, but then he's going to score a ton. He's also very short on resources, but I guess these priests are becoming workers, I guess. So this round just remains TP Stronghold. He'll need to do a little bit of shifting here, but that's fine. He'll need to shift to power. Yeah, that's fine. He does indeed choose to go D1 first. That's kind of what we predicted. He has a reasonable chance of passing on to the dwellings tile. I think most of these other guys want to longer around right now. Yeah, I'm curious about Mellison's game right now. It's not obvious to me what's going to happen there. Like, I think that this town does happen, but it's a lot of expensive TPs, and as we've mentioned, like, he does want some shipping as well. Like, does he want... It seems like it would probably be asking too much for him to take Waterborne, right? I don't think his economy supports that. Expensive TP, dwelling, cheap TP, I think, is a pretty decent round for him. And then there's also the fact that he could just pass. Like, it's not clear that he can do better for his economy right now, for like his game overall right now, than simply passing on to the dwelling. And then, whoa, that is not what I would have predicted. This is 100% not what I would have predicted. Once again, I'm just showing myself to know absolutely nothing, because Chaos doesn't seem to want to advance their digs. They put the priest to air to get a worker? Question mark. They didn't even put it to earth to fight earth. Matt, all that Matt wants now is the stronghold. Like, I mean, like, incidentally, like, he is on the TP tile and he is making Air 1 points. So there's, like, technically a case for him not building the stronghold. But the stronghold is 5 plus 5. It's 10 points right now. If he skips the stronghold, he's not on the TP tile. Yeah, so it's only Air 1 points that he'll be losing. There'll be a little bit of economy that he loses as well, but... He might be trying to figure out if he's supposed to convert both his priests, and the answer is yes, and he does do so. And why did this... Oh yeah, because he moved this thing up. Yep. He's going to be fine because he can just build this town first. Yeah, he's going to be fine. He'll probably end up with 2 structures on his board, so he'll build 2 over here, 2 over here, and that's... Nope, that's 1 structure on his board. He's going to need a lot of stuff next round, but he should be able to pay for it. Again, he only needs to give up 12 more points. But the bigger question will be, can he afford to, like, move his marker enough to give him the points that he wants? Fruity should definitely still be staying in this round if he values economy at all. Or, like,
if he does have network aspirations, then he needs to stay in the round. He's not going to aspire to more than 6 points, but still. And I guess there's like a vague argument for maybe these 8 points aren't worth quite as much as like these 6 points and a coins action and something, but I think the simpler answer is just keep building.
So Mellison bought that priest earlier, and I'm still not too sure why. This is a very dry round for him scoring. I really thought that just passing would have been better for him. Or like making this TP and then building it would have been good. But like spending 3 power for the priest, I feel like I didn't like that. Like no one should be. I guess CM could rush their way up this cult, and he could lose 2 cults, but I think he would probably just live without risk. I don't know. CM took the 8-point town. They just want to build TPs this round, it looks like. Not really looking to advance their digs anymore. Let's count the workers / resources that Matt needs. He needs 3 TPs and 4 dwellings, so that's 10 workers. And he's going to have 9 natively, assuming that these priests become workers, which why wouldn't they? And he'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 8 is 17 coins. He should have that quite easily. He'll have 5 plus, ooh, he's not making a lot of, but he can pay a lot of, he can move his marker for a lot of points. And I think that that's what he's going to be doing a lot of late. He's going to be passing for 7 points. And then passing for like 9 points in the final round. Getting 2 towns, I think that he can take probably like a low VP and a high VP one, probably around like 16 points total. 100, 109. Plus all the points from Earth 1 and Water 1. 125 plus 3 TPs is like 122. I think that Matt's going to be passing into the final round in like the 120s. He's going to win network outright, probably. I think that Wisps probably aren't going to get down to 1 because they haven't advanced their shipping at all. Yeah, Wisps building another temple, 3 TPs, 4 dwellings, and 3 ship advances is simply not happening. So Wisps will get to like 15. So Matt will be at like 140. I think that he's going to be in like the mid 140s, maybe high 140s at the end of the game. Time Travelers, as I've said, have 8 more points coming this round and passing for 11. So 19 more points. They're going to be at 117, as we said. And then they just need to, since we said that Wisps can't really afford another temple, they'll probably just temple for Water 1 and make 4 TPs if they can. They have pretty good adjacency. They can make 4 temple, 4 TPs. So that would be 24 points plus 4 is 8. That would be 145. Plus like a handful of cult points. I think that they're very competitive with Firewalkers based off the math. Also, I forgot that Firewalkers will also have to pay 12 points in terms of digging. So I think that Fruity probably beats Matt here, unless I missed something really obvious. Mellison has locked up 28 points, so that's pretty nice. He's locked up 40 endgame points, basically, right? Second on network plus these points here. I think time travelers are in like I forgot the 6 network points, so they're probably in like the 150s. Wisps will have one more town coming. It's probably got to be like a coin town or something. I'm thinking that it's probably like a coin town, so I'm going to count like 5 points for them. And they'll have like 6 points here, plus 8 points here, plus 4 points here, 6 plus 8 plus 4. That's 18, plus 5 for the town, plus 9 for the ship advances. It's like 28, plus this is like 36. So I'm mathing the wisps out to be like around 120, plus the endgame scoring like high 150s for mellison. CM is dead, unfortunately. They can advance their digs and build dwellings, but wow, this TP is also pretty sad. Or this temple is kind of sad because they don't even have Air 1, which is ultra sad. Like, Air 1 would have been an extra worker, it would have been a point against time travelers, and it would be 8 points, because I think that they should be trying to end this round with all their TPs out. Or like 6 to 7 points. Like Earth 3 was just really not necessary, I think. But it's fine. I think Siam's a fairly distant 4th. Maybe they get onto a pass tile, which is kind of nice, but in fact, they probably get onto the pass tile, right? I guess they did take water too, which is not so bad, but so yeah, so far my like back of the envelope math suggests that wisps are winning, but it's not clear to me. Like, it's not obvious that that's the case. Matt is missing out on the pass tile, which is a bummer. He can choose to keep fighting to stay in the round, but it's very arguable that these 6 coins might be more important to him. Actually, I'm not sure if that's arguable or not, but yeah, I think actually that's a little misguided. He probably just wants all the points he can get, but he needs 10 coins to make this town. So that needs to be the first thing that happens. If he converts a bunch of this power into workers, that'll put him like in a bigger hole. I think he can force create something like 10 coins or 5 coins. But yeah, he does just choose to convert it this way. Yeah, he's gonna be able to create 4 coins out of thin air. Felipe is just going to make 2 more TPs, and then pass for 6. We'll be in like the 90s, 91. Final round, probably just build like 3 or 4 dwellings. And he will get the big building tile, which is nice. So it's like 4 more points. I don't know. Felipe will be in like the 120s to 130s at least. So it's not all bad news. let's see, can CM afford to advance digs twice next round? Probably not, right? They don't have the coins for that. They're gonna have like 6 coins plus like 7 power. They could take a little leech, I guess. I don't know, might be worth it. But I do feel bummed about this Earth 3. I do think that Air 1 could have been better. I'm not sure why Felipe is thinking this hard about this decision. It seems to me fairly clear that the TP is good. There it is. Well, last TP would not be good. Like, he could technically bump water and then convert all his resources into another TP, but it's not a TP scoring round, so that can't be worth it. He passes on to a spade just in case he wants to lock up network versus CM. I don't think that that'll be too much of a struggle. I don't think that he should be building any more dwellings, personally. I think that his way to points now is Temple Water 1 followed by all the TPs. And I think he has the stuff for that. Like, he can do workers to coin if he wants, right? This has to be one of the highest average ELO tables ever. Yeah, I agree. Like, it wasn't the case that, like, all those semifinal games had, like, super high ELOs, right? I feel like there were a lot of, like, 500s ELOs. But everyone, like, kept their ELO high who won. And it was, like, probably, like, I have to think one of the top 2 players from each table by ELO advance as well. Time Travelers have so many points for only Air 1. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? They managed to execute like the most important parts of the game plan, which were 1, make this big building, and 2, build four dwellings during the dwelling round. That's all that I really wanted for Time Travelers this game, and that's basically all that they've done. And it's resulted in an absolute ton of points. Yeah, it's beginning to look like Matt might have gotten a little carried away with economy and like having fun with Firewalkers, and just bidding a few too many points for them. I think that they're pretty competitive if you give him those points back, but the fact that he has to dig these 2 dwellings down in order to make that 4th town is a little sketch. But I could be wrong. I could have mismathed for sure. So Mellison's going to snag the coins, and then he's just going to build out the rest of his stuff. Presumably he puts a cult bump on fire or something. I guess it's not clear that Mellison will be able to build everything, but he's got G2, B3. I think that Time Travelers, one of their best moves might be to hit one of Mellison's hexes. Yeah, like Wisps should be able to generate. Oh yeah, because Wisps, like, if they put a TP on G4 to get a free hex, right? They're going to lose. Like, that means that they can't put the TP down here in this town, which is where they would want it. I guess this is safe. Technically, there's some threat of something bad happening here, because these are the 2 cheap hexes. It would be an immediate negative 2 points to lose one of those hexes, and Matt does need every point that he can get. The best players play in Madness League? Yeah, evidently. If the Fire and Ice factions go away, I will play again, but I am not a huge fan of those.
Okay, like we said, Fruity did do his temple for water 1, and I think that he has 4 stuff plus what he has, right? He has 12, 15, 19 stuff, 20 stuff, and he's got this bump, so he's got 24 stuff, and you only need 20 stuff to build all your TPs. Or actually, you only need, he's only got 3 TPs available to build. It only costs 15 stuff to build these TPs. And then it would cost 7 stuff to build another TP. Or a temple. That would be 22. You need 27 stuff. And right now he's got 24 stuff. Stuff is the round 6 resource. Yeah. It is. He can get 2 more stuff by taking fire 3. So I think that he's pretty close. He should just take a 2 for 1 or something. Take fire 3, which is actually worth a few points anyway, because CM might just decide to go up that cult for whatever reason. Or I mean, he doesn't have to do that really, but I think it's not a bad idea to just stretch a little bit, take a 2 for 1 leech if you can, and go for an extra TP to round things out. Okay. So Matt's going to take a town with his next action. I assume that it's going to be the priest town. I think that he can afford the coins that are required for the rest of it, but the workers are tough. He needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 workers to make this town, and 7, and another worker to make this town. So I think that he should take F1, take the priest town, and then that's like a high victory point town, which gives him what he needs, and then he can slowly build this stuff out. And I don't know if, like, my instinctive, like, looking at it feel was that Wisps would probably need like a ship town or a coin town, and that then they could go for that 11 pointer afterward, which should be a few points better than I said. So maybe Firewalkers are pretty competitive. They might be at like 150 as opposed to what I said, which was like 140s. And Time Travelers, are they Wisps or Chaos will get this hex. No one's messing with this hex. So I mean, if I were Time Travelers, I might be a jerk and hit this hex. Wisps still need a bunch of stuff. I agree, because they need 16. Like they need 12 points worth of ship advances, coins worth of ship advances. They need 9 coins worth of TPs. So that's 21 coins. And then they need to build 3 hexes still, 3 dwellings. That's 32 coins plus seven workers. That's like 39 stuff. And okay, they only need 2 more ship advances, but yeah, they still need quite a lot of stuff. So I think that a ship town or coin town is probably in the cards for them, pending leech. Oh wait, the 11 pointer went. Ooh, Matt took the 11 pointer. Is that kosher? Matt must have done the math and realized that he can't afford to. Yeah, okay. He's going to gain so many victory points that he's capable of just doing a lot of power conversions to build out this town. And presumably he's going to get the 9 pointer, so that's good for him. So that makes him like 5 points better than I was predicting, 4 points better than I was predicting. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's going to get 14 more points from Earth 1, Water 1 in the track. 18 points here, plus 9 points here. So that's 27 more points for Matt. For 24 more points now, so that's 123. Win network outright is 141. Maybe a couple of resource points and this stuff. It's like right around like high 140s to like 150, depending on like cults. Thanks. Fruity, we were saying, was... Well, Fruity has one fewer TP than we thought, so... He's probably still considering how he's going to like use his remaining resources, because he can't like advance digs for points. So I do think that... I kind of think that the Temple Fire 3 plus one more TP line is in play. It also looks like he might have taken a 2-for-1 at some point, which puts him at like exactly the right resources for that line. CM will consolidate their cult positioning. Water. Probably go up the air track with their cult pump. They probably should be wary about fire, because I do think Fire 3 is on its way. I'm right. I think that Time Travelers have exactly enough stuff to Fire 3 and make another TP. Which I think means that they would win that Fire call. I guess CM could also just Temple Fire 2 in response, but you take away Fire 3, that's pretty painful. Yeah, CM advancing dig might just be best now. Building a dwelling is only 4 points, advancing dig is 6. Alright, mellison is being offered the chance to accept Leech. And he does take it, so he might be thinking that this lets him get a slightly better town. Mellison secretly has like 1.5 stuff waiting for him on the fire track.
Now he's not getting any more leech, so that half leech is probably just gonna stay as a half. So but he's got one power, one more stuff like hidden. In my eyes, CM's best move is probably to advance dig, because this Priest of Fire will likely not be worth anything. Then they would have a resource point left over, so that'd be 113 past 117, and then to me this is 16 cult points, and then that'd be 133. Clearly fourth, but I think it's still reasonably respectable given like how badly the game broke. Felipe taking his time, but I think the writing might be on the wall now. I disagree with that. However, I think that it's defensible because if Felipe gets a 2-for-1, which mellison, I think mellison will probably delay the 2-for-1, but Felipe could build 2 dwellings this way. And that would take away network points. That would give him network points. So this cult bump on water was a little risky, but it does come with upside for sure. The upside being he could now hard dig and single dig for a second action. Oh, he was offered. Where'd this come from? Matt offered him power here. Oh, was it here? D5. Yeah, I think that he needs to accept this. This is the whole point of bumping water. I'm pretty sure the whole point of bumping water was to take this 2-for-1. Oh, he declines. That has to be wrong, right? You're definitely making that move for the power, right? At least as far as I can tell. Otherwise, I don't understand the point of bumping the water track. Because he has enough stuff, exactly enough stuff if he takes that leech to single spade H5, hard dig C9 or A7. One thing I forgot to account for is the secret hidden stuff points for firewalkers, because they're going to be able to convert all of their like gap points basically into resources, and they're going to get 4 more points now. That's 106 plus the 9 pointer probably. 106 plus, or 108, sorry. 108 plus 9 is 117. So then they're going to get 12 coins basically, which is 4 points of resources. So they are in the high 140s or like low 150s then. time travelers, as predicted, did take fire 3. I haven't done Mellison's stuff calc right now, but can they afford? It's beginning to look like Mellison can pretty easily afford to take the priest town. I think they can afford this priest town. They need 9 coins, 13 coins, right? With the ship advance, they need 13 coins. Oh man, they don't even need another ship advance if they get H4. They also don't need that ship advance with I6. I'm not sure if that's entirely good to go a line like that, but Matt does some fancy math to just get a priest. Seems fine. If he thinks each priest is worth a point, that's worth it. Yeah, I can't help but look at this and just say like, and see like Felipe being just short of being able to single dig. Like he declined a 2-for-1, remember? So I mean, I guess this priest now goes to air and that's it. But it felt much like it felt like when he bumped water that the plan was to use a single dig. Because again, he has exactly enough stuff for that. There's the pass. He chooses not to take a point away from time travelers, just like that's just kind of sporting. But honestly, like if he had taken that 2-for-1, it's -1. What is this? This can't be right. Malton's not really doing this, is he? This is a no town. This would kill his town. I don't think he's actually doing this. Okay, we're gonna see this TP. counting 151 for time travelers, I think. 3 plus 4 is 7. I must be crazy, because I have no idea what mellison is doing here. Like, why not? I do not understand why this is not just I5. Can someone explain, someone in the chat, understand why mellison didn't just upgrade I5? Like, this is a cheap TP, right? And he needs... I am super confused right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, like this was very, very confusing. And did he pass in time? Okay, he finishes move in time. I had no idea what was going on there. I was truly baffled. So I think that we can definitely count Matt's ship advance into play now, right? He's going to take the workers down in that advanced ship. Oh, did Fruity get a free leech? That's quite nice. He got this free leech at last. I think Matt probably should have built B4 first. But this free leech does allow Fruity to send this priest off to water. No, I think that Matt is going to just fight back on there, so it probably won't matter too much. Yeah, there it is. Wait, so did I undercount Fruity's points? He's got 141, pass for 145. The network points is 151, so it's 158. 158 for time travelers. And I thought that Wisps were fine, but maybe they've done something. One of those crazy moves that they've been making, like maybe one of them prevents them from having as many points as I thought. It's going to be 112, plus a ship advance is 116, plus a pass is 128, plus 40 endgame point is 160. Okay, never mind. Yeah, their Wisps are still crushing it. And this was the ship town. Okay. I was actually thinking that Firewalkers might just manually advance ship. I'm not convinced that these priests are that good. I guess 2 priests will go on the Earth track now. So that's kind of good. looks like 5 resource points for firewalkers. Five resource points plus a 9-point pass. 132, 150. I think that they're beating, after taking this point away, I think that they're beating time travelers by like 1, or they're tied. They might be like exactly tied with time travelers now. Really interesting stuff. So, I mean, the water 2 obviously worked out. And to be fair, this Time Travelers game was essentially the Time Travelers game that I was thinking, right? He got 16 points here, and he got 20 points here. So like that's about as good as like I was hoping. Plus he got the 12 plus 1 or 1 points here. So it is the Time Traveler games I hope for. It just, the other factions just had too high of a point ceiling probably. For like that specific game to work. Matt is saying that not passing 1 turn earlier in round 5 was super dumb. I think I kind of agree. He got blocked off of a pass tile, I think, because Wisps got that, and they got the coins action. I mean, I guess the coins action doesn't really matter, because the coins action is the difference between these two. Yeah, it is a tie between Time Travelers and Firewalkers. Crazy. Which means that if Matt had sent Priest to water and stalled instead of letting Time Travelers send that. No, because Time Travelers didn't get any benefit from this. Yeah, never mind. I don't know if there's anything Matt could have done to do better than that, but. Yeah, I mean, that's that, right? Long game, obviously. And Firewalkers did outscore everyone, but only very barely. Time Travelers, obviously, you gotta think, like, maybe if they had just, like, been slightly less aggressive on a few things, that they might have done a little better, but it's hard to fault them too much when they managed to execute basically everything that I said, right? So, this is a fun stat, right? They're like alchemists because they dig so much, and then they cost themselves victory points when they dig. But this is also like pretty interesting. So they generated 130 points, whereas Wisps generate 129. So very interesting. All right, that's this season. Tune in like a couple months or whatever for the next time that they run this thing. It was a very cool game. I was glad to be able to cast it. Thanks for watching and chatting. Go check out Fruity's actual thoughts on it. So, all right, see you everyone.